What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with another comic book haul video. And so I have been visiting several shops. Glad to see that a lot of shops are opening back up, and talk to various owners at those shops as to how they're coming along and things are going okay. Sometimes, people are a little less honest with you when times like that hit hard, but others are, been perfectly honest. And so hopefully you're out there supporting your LCS. Obviously, if you're financially able to do so and your business is taken care of, you certainly want to take care of home before you take care of anywhere else. But I got a bunch of eBay hauls. Well, I take that back. Probably not very many eBay hauls. More Instagram and YouTube auction hauls, as well as hauls at the local comic book shop. So let's dive in. First off, I kind of passed on this book before when it first came out, just because they're reprints. Covers fire. And so hopefully the Dallas Fan Expo is going to be taking place next month, and In Huck Lee is going to be there, and I thought this would be a great cover to get him to sign. So went to a comic shop today. It was one of those comic book shops. They had an awful lot of new issues. You can tell they ordered a whole bunch of stuff that never sold, and by now it's done got damaged, and they still won't cover price for it, and all that kind of stuff. But this one was there. I guess it had the fortunate deal of being a square bound book, so less likely to have those spine ticks. But it was in good shape, and so we're going to plan to get him to sign that. Thought that would be pretty cool. That's back to the original Wolverine days. It'd be awesome if he done one like with the Hulk, and maybe he did, and so you can like put them side by side facing each other. Since I have Hulk in 81, so thought that was pretty cool. Then we got Uncanny X-Men 151. Got this next batch of books from Lady Fantastic on one of her auctions. If you don't know Lady Fantastic, go sub her up, check her out. We've done several auctions together. She was on this auction, and I've of course got Uncanny X-Men 151. I did not have the direct version, so I had the newsstand, not the direct, so that's why I picked that one up. Got this off of an Instagram seller. I guess I've got her stuff mixed up. Instagram seller. The Valiant, back in the day, Valiant, big thing that they did was the Nintendo stuff, and so picked this one up. So that was pretty cool. This is Game Boy number 3. Mario. I picked this up from the same seller, Hulk 340. I had a lesser copy that was a direct edition. This is better, and it's a newsstand. The one I gave away was was signed by Peter David. So probably what I'll do is Peter David is pretty prolific when it comes to all the cons, and he doesn't charge anything really for you to do the signature. So I'll probably get him to get that signed for me on this copy. New Mutants number 6 newsstand. Rob Liefeld cover. Let's look at the feet. Yeah, okay, they're horrible. But yeah, so Rob Liefeld cover. This is the Days of Future Present storyline that was in the annuals that year. So this is the original New Mutants run of annuals. Also picked this one up. Uncanny X-Men 60 and 61. You might say to yourself, these are some pretty cool and high grade copies of these particular books. And they are. However, do not be deceived. These are the J.C. Penney's reprints. And so in the 90s, J.C. Penney's was doing these mystery boxes before mystery boxes were cool. Go figure. And these were comics that were in those at the time. I did get this from Lady Fantastic. Tomb of Dracula, number 24, 25-cent goodness. I had gotten the True Believers of this comic, so then I looked up and I said, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was in pretty cool shape. It's nothing special as far as the issue's concerned, but I picked it up on the cheap from her. Power Psychoderms. And I mentioned homage covers before, and here's an homage to X-Men 1. You guessed it. X-Men, Amazing X-Men number 1. Ed McGuinness and Jason Aaron's run here, and this is when Nightcrawler comes back, I believe, and so pick that up from the lady. And then X-Men 1, this is the female Rand-led team, and that's the issue number 1. Pick that up from her as well. So Keep It Thorough, who has auctions quite often, as well as he's on other people's channels. Pick this up from him. Spider-Woman number 1. This is actually for sale. Check out my IG if you're interested. Let me know. But I didn't pick it up for this. This was like in a mix of books that he had done, and this is one of the other books. Amazing Heroes number 16. This is the technical first appearance of the New Mutants. This came out before the Marvel graphic novel, and so pretty cool there. Then I got this one from an IG seller. Avengers Arena number 14. Another homage cover. Here's X-22 trying to act like old Pops from the Wolverine 1 classic cover. And so that was pretty cool. Amazing Adventures featuring the Beast. 20-cent goodness. This is number 11. And this is when Beast turns furry. Remember, the old Beast was just that, a brute, and wasn't quite as hairy as most people know him as today. And he was making some kind of deal to try to make himself unmutified, and made himself worse off than what he was before. Wolverine number 1, all new Wolverine number 1. I think this is John Christopher Tyler. Is that right? The action figure variant. So these always trip me out. Uncanny X-Men number 253, newsstand. Why I got it. Number 152. 159. Again, I've been getting the ones I didn't have. Had the issues, just not the versions of newsstand or direct. So. But I went back through my collection and marked them in CLZ as a direct or a newsstand, because sometimes CLZ has them, two different options in there as the newsstand, and sometimes they don't. So I just went back and made sure had them all. This is We Can Be Heroes, who Elite Comics on Instagram does a lot of auctions. Picked this up the other day. This is Wolverine Origins number 10. This is the variant 3rd Claw edition. So this comic is definitely hard to find with that 3rd Claw, and so glad to get that in the PC there at a decent price. Giant Size X-Men number 2. Of course, everybody knows its older brother. Giant Size X-Men 1 is definitely the bigger of the books. This is a reprint, I believe. So a lot of those giant size, and then later they called them annuals and such. But back then they were basically just reprints. Star Wars, the action figure variant of Vader Down number 1, showing the old 70s action figures. So seems like this batch of comics I got an awful lot of action figure variants. So kind of strange. Picked this one up today from a small comic shop on my way home. I'd never been to it. I was out of town coming back, but this is one that I'd been eyeing for a while. So Batman and the Outsiders, number 11. Del Otto and Ra's al Ghul with all his savagery, looking all BA on the cover, looking like he's fixing to romp and stomp. And of course, if he romps and stomps, he can just go into a Lazarus pool. So what's the big deal? No consequences. It's from the same shop. Picked up Marvel's number 3. I don't know if this one came out now or I missed it right before all the hoopla hit with the dreaded disease. Don't know, but anyway, either way, I picked it up from the shop, showing that shop some love. This is Exo Manowar. Knew you had to have some Valiant in here, right? Exo Manowar number 17. This is from Volume 2. So this was after Acclaim had bought Valiant and they had restarted those series. This is number 12. All the Volume 2s are a lot of times harder to find than the Volume 1s because this was in the 90s, late 90s, and so the comic crash, as it were, was fixing to be in full swing or was in the process of being in full swing. Valiant was just a shadow of its former self. That's number 13. And so these Volume 2s are sometimes pretty hard to find. This is number 8. Picked all these up out of the dollar bin. So thought that was pretty cool. Marvel Age number 116. Andy Kubert, the follower crossover in the animated series, talking about the X-Men. So this was out of the dollar box. Dug the art. Got the X-Men, got Cable on there, and it's a newsstand. How can you go wrong? So that's why I picked that one up. Powers of X, number 6 of 6, the Scotty Young variant. Wolverine saying, "Hey Bob, I'll trade you," and he's like, "You don't understand about near mint, do you?" I thought that was pretty cool, and picked this up for $1 in that same shop. It's got a little dent down there, so I'm not really worried about it. Paid $1. Thought the cover was kind of cool. Then we got House of X, number 6, the action figure variant, another one. Picked that one up for $1. So I was in another town, and it had more comics than that other shop did, but not an awful lot. So but it did pick up some good ones. This was one I needed to try to get those run of annuals. That's number 2. Picked this one up for $3.99. Right, it's the facsimile. Amazing X-Men number 1. This is the extra edition. And I was like, didn't know anything about it, and so it was only $2, so let's pick it up. Now this was the find of the day from these shops, and this is X-Men Half, the Wizard version. It's got the COA still in it. This is the Jim Lee series, and so that was one that was on the want list, and so that was the coolest pickup of the day from the shop runs. Then I got a whole bunch of newsstands, later 90s newsstands from the Uncanny run, $2.89, $2.92, $2.90. Had all these in direct, $2.93, but was able to get them in newsstand. If you see the prices on $2.50, this one was $1. That's $3.08. $3.12 in newsstand, and this is actually the first appearance of the Phalanx, or the second appearance of the Phalanx, so kind of a semi-key there. These were cover price, but I was filling in a couple of holes. Astonishing X-Men number 8, Mike Deodato cover. Number 5, number 4, number 3, kind of Wolverine through the course of time. X-Force number 11, an homage cover to, I'm waiting, yes, that's right, New Mutants 87, so thought that was pretty cool. X-Men Legacy 209, that's some David Finch goodness there. Kind of liking these connecting covers. I'm a fan of David Finch's work and the X-Men, so it was kind of a 3 for, and then 212. I didn't have those, so I was glad to pick those up. On the YouTube auction route, I did, well, before I show that, let me throw a little Funko Pop action. Don't have a lot of Funko Pops. Most of the time I get these just because I was planning to get them signed. However, I'm not getting Beta Ray to Bill to sign one unless maybe the actor one day, whoever that is, he was signing. But this is the Walgreens exclusive. Been kind of looking around, and I was fixing to go to the hotel last night, and I just looked up and I said, let me check that Walgreens out. What else I got to do? And lo and behold, they had several of them there, and so picked that up. Pretty cool. Got the first appearance, which I have as well, on the back. So we'll be adding that to the collection. But back to the YouTube auctions. Shortbox Padawan, had several things with her. Finally got up enough to put a whole box together, make the shipping worth the while, and so she shipped it my way. This is Incredible Hulk #1. Yeah, eat your heart out, boy who had 7 from the boy who had 6. No, seriously, this is the facsimile edition, obviously. So cool, but not that cool. Then we got Deceased #4. This looks like a Dell Auto cover here, and Joker looking all savage on there. And then we got Astonishing X-Men #13, #18. And we got Rorschach, Before the Watchmen 1/4, and this is a Lee Bermejo, but I was calling him Buongiorno, like the pizza. Buongiorno. That's not the way to say it, but pretty cool, like a Rorschach cover there. And sticking with that theme there, we got Doomsday Clock #1. I think this is a second print or something. So that was pretty cool. Picked it up on the cheap. I think it was $1. Now this is probably the find of this box, was the exclusive of the Glow in the Dark Storm. J. Scott Campbell, Glow in the Dark Storm, an exclusive. It is numbered 1792 of 2500. How can you go wrong with this buy right here? 20 bucks. 20 bucks. Got it for a steal. And I thought this was neat. Wildcats and X-Men Modern Age. This is the neater one of them. The Silver Age, which has Jim Lee, which is fitting since he created the Wildcats. And then Wildcats, X-Men, The Golden Age. So that's all of them. I think these were all one-shots, but they were all listed as separate series. And so, been having some issues. I don't know if anybody else has. Be sure to leave comments down below if you have. But been having some serious issues when it comes to shipping. I was just bragging on the U.S. Postal Service that, man, everybody else is saying they're getting their packages delayed. I'm getting mine on time. They're in good shape. And then, lo and behold, what happens? I had bought this copy right here. Yes, I already had one, but I decided to get a second one. It was for a decent deal. Picked it up, got it, and then noticed, check that out, bent. I don't think it breaks color, so when I get around to sending some more books to get pressed, because I don't have a local presser, I'm going to try it out, cross my fingers, but that one got damaged. As you know, more than likely, my Hulk 180, 81, and 182 all got damaged, cracked. And shout out to the sellers of both of those because we had agreed upon amounts and they took care of me. So shout out to them when you can't do nothing else. And so I recently purchased another big book last week, and it was supposed to have been in here Monday, and it was not. This is Thursday, and now it just says in transit. So I am very worried about that book. Now that particular book, so I say it's a big book, unlike the other ones, but the other ones were 180, 181, 182. But if this one's damaged, I'm just going to send it back. Tell the seller that they can go give me my money back, and they can worry with the U.S. Postal Service. I'm just that particular book and what I paid for one book. I said I'm just not going to do that. I think with the 180 181 and 182. That is a big purchase too. Altogether, it was bigger than the one I'm referencing that I'm still waiting on. But the difference there is that it was 3 books I've been wanting, and it was still a good enough deal. So I just don't think I'm going to do that again if this one's damaged. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it got put on the wrong truck, which happened to my Foom magazines. If you'll recall, my Foom magazines came all the way almost to my house and then ended up going to Texas. Who knew? Okay. Oh, I ain't seen no Hillebrand cards in forever. So this comes from a guy on YouTube. And man, I ain't seen no Hildebrandt art in forever. Davy and the Goblin, and It's Raining Cats, Phantom of the Opera, Prima Donna. He put those in there. In the Days of Camelot. The Troll's Grindstone. Man, I used to remember reading his books, and all the books I was reading, you know, this guy was illustrating a lot of the covers and such. Huh. All right. So this was an Instagram seller. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 186 newsstand. That was double size issue. That's what it was. I was wondering if maybe it was a Mark Jewelers variant, but it's a double size issue. It says it on the cover. So this is X-Men Legacy 268. This is the Mark Brooks cover. X-Men 26 newsstand. X-Men Black #1. This is the Emma Frost version. J. Scott Campbell cover. X-Force #2. This is the second appearance, our technical second appearance of Deadpool, if you don't count the card that came with X-Force 1. Some people count the card, some people don't, so that's why I was looking at that staple on the top there. Ooh, yikes. I wanted to go back and look at those pictures. Jason, buy stuff online, you need to check the pictures out a little better. Because that has got a serious crease there, and that is not going to be pressable. But that's a newsstand, so that was why I picked it up. Because you know, you get into those 90s, start seeing a whole bunch of direct stuff. X-Force #5, X-Men Gold. This #11. This is Delato that done this. I think so. Omega Red, Venomized. And then Astonishing X-Men #13. Little Dazzler, little disco action there going on. Something JB at Discovery Bay can appreciate. Disco. So get a little disco action going on there. And man, that's it. Now hopefully I'm going to have some more stuff coming in, the big book that I mentioned, as well as some other items that I've kind of be filtering in here over the next little bit. But be sure to leave comments down below as to what you think about these pickups. You think these were good buys? Let us know what you're picking up lately. How are things going at your local comic shop? And as always, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and also the bell notification so that when videos like this drop, you are one of the first people to know. I do want to thank you again for taking time to enjoy what I'm unboxing, and in adding to my collection maybe some satisfaction or of knowing, hey, that's a book I want, or that's a good buy. You know, as a fellow collector, you can have some enjoyment in that. So I appreciate you taking time to watch this video and the other ones that I put out. So until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.